There were rich men in the city, but none like Chief Johnson. He wasn't just wealthy, he was powerful. His name opened doors others couldn't even knock on. When he entered a room, people stood. When he spoke, they listened. He had built his empire from nothing, rising from selling spare parts to owning factories, oil blocks, and political influence that could shake the country. Chief Johnson lived in a mansion that could pass for a hotel, with tall white pillars, shining floors, and a compound so wide it took minutes to walk across. His cars were lined up like soldiers, black SUVs, a Rolls-Royce, even a private limousine. He had everything people dream of: money, status, and the respect that comes with it. But all that power came with a shadow he didn't see growing right inside his own home. He had one child, Prince. Prince was his pride, his only son, his heir. Chief himself had grown up under a hard father, a man who believed love was a weakness and that only fear could make a boy a man. Chief had sworn that when he became a father, he would be different. He would give his son the freedom he never had, the comfort he never tasted, and he did maybe a little too much. From the moment Prince could walk, Chief gave him everything. The best schools, the best toys, his own driver at 12, his own car at 16. He never allowed anyone to shout at the boy-not teachers, not the house staff, not even his own wife. Whenever someone complained about Prince's behavior, Chief had one answer: leave him. He's just a boy. But that boy was learning the wrong lesson, that there was no line he couldn't cross. At school, Prince fought teachers and bullied classmates. When one teacher punished him, Chief called the principal, and the teacher was transferred the next day. When Prince crashed a car after a night out, the police officers at the station saluted him instead of arresting him. His father's name was a shield, and he wore it proudly. At home, his mother tried to correct him. "Chief," she would plead, "you're ruining this boy." But Chief never listened. "You worry too much," he'd say. "You see how I suffered growing up. My son will not go through that." She would sigh and walk away, feeling the wall between them grow taller every year. Prince grew wilder. He partied, he drank, and every time trouble came, his father cleaned it up. The more Chief saved him, the more reckless he became. Soon, stories began to spread. People whispered about how the chief's son slapped a police officer and nothing happened. About how he threatened a lecturer and still graduated with top grades. Some called him untouchable. Others called him cursed. But in Chief's eyes, his son could do no wrong. He told himself that all great men had wild sons, that Prince would calm down when he matured, that he was just enjoying life. He didn't realize he was watching his own downfall in slow motion. Prince Johnson grew up knowing one thing: his father could fix anything. By the time he was 16, the city already knew him, not for achievements, but for trouble. Teachers, police officers, even club bouncers, everyone knew the chief's son. You didn't cross him if you valued your peace. He lived like royalty. His father had built an empire that stretched from oil and construction into government corridors. Ministers came to his house for favors. Police commissioners took his calls personally. So when Prince got into trouble, it never lasted long. If he crashed a car, Chief sent a new one. If he hit someone, the case disappeared. If a teacher complained, that teacher lost their job. Power had built a wall around him, and nothing could touch him. His mother tried to warn her husband again. "Chief, you're turning this boy into something dangerous," she said one evening. As Prince's car screeched into the compound, loud music shaking the night, Chief didn't even look up from his phone. "You women worry too much. You see how my father treated me. You want me to do that to my son. But discipline is not wickedness," she argued. He waved her off. "You don't understand. I'm giving him what I never had." And he meant it. Chief's own father had ruled him with iron hands. He had been beaten for every mistake, denied joy, denied freedom. So now that he was rich, he swore his son would never know pain. But what he didn't see was that freedom without limits was poison. By 18, Prince was driving cars that cost more than most people's houses. At 19, he was known in every nightclub. At 20, he was feared. He was the kind of man who could slap a police officer just to prove a point. And as his reputation for chaos grew, a storm was gathering, ready to tear down the empire his father had built. Follow to see what happens next. You won't want to miss it.